Top 3 tips to editing poetry and how to make your poems stand out. Introduction. What is editing? Editing is the process of reviewing and correcting text, especially written language. It often involves making corrections to grammar, spelling, punctuation and word choice. Editors typically work on substantive content, such as articles, books or novels, while copy editors usually focus on stylistic issues, such as readability. To edit a poem is to give clarity to the piece without sacrificing the poet's original voice or intent. In the next section, I will give you some tips on how to do exactly this. My 3 top tips for editing a poem. The first of many poetry editing tips I would suggest would be to remove filler words. Filler words are words that add nothing to the poem. These can include repeated words, words that don't fit the poem, and words that can be cut away without sacrificing the meaning of the poem. Poetry is all about brevity. Another tip I have for editing poetry is to improve the readability of the piece. By this, I mean, altering how the poem reads when you read it aloud. You want the poem to flow smoothly as you read it. If you catch yourself getting stuck on certain words, lines, or stanzas, it's a good indication that they don't belong in the poem. Read the piece aloud at least 3 times, picking apart the sticking phrasing. Then, alter the sticking phrase with something that sounds better to the ear. The better the piece flows, the better it will be. The third and final tip I have for editing a poem is to work on spelling and grammar. This may seem like common sense, but you'd be surprised at how many poems I see that do not follow grammatical rules, or are full of spelling mistakes. The less mistakes you have in your piece, the more people will want to read it. This is especially true for experienced poets, as reading mistake after mistake can become tiresome and distracting to the reader. So you don't have perfect grammar or spelling? That's okay. There are programs out there like Grammarly that you can use to brush up your spelling mistakes and anything else syntax related. Remove filler. Remove sticking words, lines, stanzas. Work on spelling and grammar mistakes. How do you edit a poem? It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Editing poems for publication. A poem is a piece of art that can be published in a variety of ways. It can be published as an ebook, or it can be published on a blog or website. Poems are often accompanied by artwork and other visual media. As long as you have the right format and you have the right type of content, you can publish your poem. Look at my list to find the best literary journals to submit your poetry to. Conclusion. The importance of editing your work. This section will conclude with a summary of the importance of editing your work and offer some tips for how to edit. Remove filler. Remove sticking words, lines, stanzas. Work on spelling and grammar mistakes. How do you edit a poem? It's easy as 1, 2, 3. Edit, edit, and edit again. Edit as many times as you can before publishing your work. You want to make sure that you are satisfied with the quality of your work and that it is ready for publication. If you'd like a more detailed look into how to edit poetry, I will be creating an entire course. The course will go over these fundamentals, and many more, as well as dive into the methods of arranging poems into a poetry chapbook and a poetry collection. With that, here's Adam Levon Brown, signing off.